more. All right. Refresh, double check. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Okay, so how are we doing on YouTube? Yeah, just let me know how the video stream is. And the volume. I always need the volume. Okay. Who? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to need you to check Kick. Hmm. All right. Well, we are finally live on all of our favorite channels. Sorry for the delay. We've had technical difficulties. Well, we've got a lot to talk about, and we will talk about them. But oh my God. Oh my God, do we have a lot to talk about. So, first things first. Oh, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. Yes, we have, the death of Charlie Kirk, who, I mean, it's no surprise how and why Charlie Kirk is dead. He pretty much dedicated his entire channel to hate, division, and just lies against people of color, lies against, you know, minorities, especially black people. He went after black people really hard. I mean, as well as Muslims too. Let's not forget that. But yeah, this is this is what we can expect from the right wing, and it's to the point where Christian nationalism is permeated so deep in America that Charlie Kirk is literally associated with Christianity, which is quite sad. I think I think that it's not. Okay, it shows that it's live here. Okay. It says, okay, it is streaming. So might want to double check. Yeah. Refresh. Yeah, refresh your app if you have to. So yeah, this is what we can expect from the uber right wing Christian nationalists. They they have decided to go. I mean, basically, this is a party that Hitler would have been proud of. He would have loved to have had a party like this. Uh, and this is just par for the course. And this is what happens when we decide to, uh, how do I say this? Basically, relinquish our critical thinking over to fascism. Fascists that do not have our best interests at heart. They want us in conflict. And the only way they stay in power is to keep groups of people pinned against each other, so to speak. That's how it works. That is exactly how it works. And it's just par for the course. And basically, they accuse the other side of doing what they themselves are doing. That's how they keep it going. That's how they keep it moving. And we need to start getting wise to their playbook. We need to stop seeding the ground. We can't we can't just keep allowing these people to just dictate the narrative, to dictate what um, what the it's going to be, to dictate how things go. And now we can't allow them to do that. We need to set the example. We need to decide that we are going to set the narrative. Again, here's a perfect example. Earlier in the week, we talked about. Let me see if I can. I need to be able to hear to kick. A second. But yeah, we talked about how the farmers are literally getting shafted. They're literally getting shafted, and it's quite sad. It really is quite sad. Keep me posted on Kick. So we're gonna play a video. Okay, you got to refresh your app. I want to play a video of the true cost of Trump's tariffs. America's farmers speak out. Let's listen to what they have to say. Earlier in the week, we talked about how farmers are struggling, how farmers are literally losing their they're not sure they're going to be able to be in business by next year because of all of the tariffs. They've lost business. China has stopped buying a lot of our crops, and we this is what happens when decide and we decide fascism is the way to go. Ought not be. Let's let's go ahead and listen to the farmers here. 1 second. Buffering. So yeah, this. I mean, this is par for the course. Donald Trump likes to brag about all of the jobs and all of the business deals that he is orchestrating, and none of that's true. Literally, none of it is true. He's like, "Oh, we'll have a deal within months." Well, it's like, well, no, you're raising tariffs on entire countries, and they're saying no. Well, guess what? If you're going to do that, we're going to go to other countries and do business with them. Why should they do business with us? You know, and if we do not get our heads out of our asses, we're going to see more and more of this. We're going to see a huge rise. Our crops are going to rot in the field. Small farmers are going to lose to the corporations that are buying them out. By the way, JD Vance, Vice President of the United States of America, is a part. He's part. He's either part owner or whatever. He's invested in a corporation that literally buys out farms that have gone bankrupt. Isn't that ironic? I mean, it would be funny if it wasn't sad, but basically, farmers voted in favor of fucking themselves. That's what they did. You know, they're worried about all of these things. They're worried about drought. They're worried about crops not succeeding. They're worried about this, that, and the other. And how are they going to pay for their equipment? How are they going to pay for any workers that they have? You know, they can't do it. They cannot do it because she honestly thinks that the tariffs are going to benefit her in the long run. See, this is how stupid people are. They think just because this will benefit them, it's not going to hurt the overall country. This is where we got to get out of this mindset. Just because it's good for me doesn't mean it's good for the whole. You know? This I got mine, fuck everybody else. That's what we're doing. That's what we've got in this country. We've got the most un-American people that live in this country. They're okay with certain people getting completely fucked over so long as they're benefiting. I can't think of any more of an elitist attitude to have. I can't think of a worst way to do business. You know, we are fucking ourselves by doing this. I don't understand us. I really don't. Whatever happened to giving a damn about your fellow man? Farmers are actually they're fearing a repeat of the agricultural loss of 2018. You know, the Trump administration is claiming to roll out aid to support affected farmers, just like he did last. My God, his decisions are causing us to have to foot the bill. Donald Trump's decision making is causing farmers to suffer to where we, the taxpayer, have to go in and bail them out when we don't have to bail them out. We shouldn't have to bail them out. You know, U.S. shrimp farmers however, they welcome the tariffs because they're hoping the price or imports over 90% of the US supply will boost domestic competitiveness. You see, if you did a strategic targeted tariff instead of just a blanket tariff, you can have beneficial trade with two countries. But if you decide, well, we're just going to tariff your entire country no matter what you sell, that is stupid. You're basically using a shotgun to hammer in a nail. I mean, instead of, my God, oh God, I don't get this. I don't get this government. Yeah. Here we go. Let's go ahead and play some more of this. Yeah. Well, I think we already know. That's it is amazing to me how these people can't think past the end of their own nose. Now you've got soybean boycotts rolling out. You know, wow, what a legacy! He might not even have a farm next year. He might not even have a farm. Soybean futures are just they're just up and down, up and down. Makes me wonder. Chicago Board of Trade. I wonder what this was like during Biden's administration. I would like to know. I'd like to know that. Hmm. But what can you do? You got people that just will not learn. You've got people that just do not give a damn. So long as they're okay, so long as they're doing fine, they don't care. They don't care. You know, it's just unbelievable. No, we're not live there. Um, but what can you do? I was very, how should I say this? I was very, very encouraged when Bolsonaro was was being prosecuted. Would you like to hear would you like to hear what they did in Brazil? They did things that we would not dare. You know, they decided to hold their people accountable. See if I can get to the history of this. Let's see, history. Ooh, long list. Yeah, we did a lot of articles the past couple of days. It's just been nonstop. Like, I'll be lucky to be able to find it. Oh, there it is. Bolsonaro. Here we go. Let's see. This is BBC, so it's going to be pretty much somewhat fair and balanced. Well, I'll tell you what, say what you want about BBC. I mean, at least it ain't Fox News. But then some people would say it's not too far off. BBC, Bolsonaro sentenced to 27 years in prison for plotting Brazilian coup. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that correctly. Bolsonaro has been sentenced to 27 years. And to wit, I say, I couldn't be happier. Earbuds dead. I couldn't be happier. This is what's called holding your leaders accountable. September 11th, 2025. The former president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, has been sentenced to 27 years, 3 months in prison after being found guilty of plotting a military coup. A panel of 5 Supreme Court justices handed down the sentence just hours after they had convicted the former leader. They ruled he was guilty of leading a conspiracy aimed at keeping him in power after he lost the 2022 election to his left-wing rival Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. 4 of the justices found him guilty while 1 voted to acquit him. There's always one goofball. There's always somebody. Okay, right here. Let's see. One of the 4 said, well, this is absurdly excessive, and they plan on filing the appropriate appeals. The Supreme Court panel also barred him from running for public office until 2060. Again, I said this on our last show. You can find it in our video selection. 8 years after the end of his sentence, 2060. Now, you could say, well, but he'll be dead by then. Why do we care? Why does it matter? And to wit, I say, yes, it matters. It matters a great deal. It matters a lot. You can't give any of these coup plotters. You cannot give this. He should be barred from every public office, from dog catcher all the way up to the presidency. He should not be allowed in any branch of government, civil or federal or what have you. No local, no federal, no state, nothing. You don't give them an in. You don't leave the door open for a possibility, ever. I guess I don't understand the Brazilian laws surrounding this, which is fine. I just don't understand where's the wisdom in that? Where is the wisdom in letting him run for office? You know? It's just not right. Show me how this benefits anyone. You don't allow these corrupt officials to get into power ever again. I don't know, guys. Let me know. Am I off base? Is it me? Am I the problem? Okay. I don't know. It's just sad. It's like, oh, Miss Carco, thank you for coming. Let's see. No, there's no guest speaking. But yes, we are on Twitch. You can find us on Twitch if you'd like. But yeah, there's no guest this time. Oh my goodness. I just realized my banner is backwards. What am I doing? 1 second, folks. Not sure. I had to do this once already. I have green screen. And how do I invert it? It did this to me before. Virtual background. Does it look? All right. You gotta look at you gotta look at YouTube. Is it right on YouTube? That makes no sense because it is backwards for me. So if I shut the mirror off, keep looking, let me know if it goes backwards again. Go ahead. Yeah, you gotta go. Mm. Yeah, I don't know why it said mirror my camera. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Well, I think it's good now. I don't know why it does that. I never. Yeah. Anyway, so back to the topic at hand. So Bolsonaro got 27 years, and I'm glad for it. But again, do not give him an out. Why? What are you doing? What are you doing? His words have. Oh, also, Bolsonaro, who was put under house arrest after being deemed a flight risk, did not attend his final phase of the trial in person. Of course. But he has in the past said it was designed to prevent him from running in the 2026 presidential election, even though he had already been barred from public office on separate charges. He has also called it a witch hunt. Amazing. This is exactly what Donald Trump has said. His words have previously been echoed by U.S. President Donald Trump, who imposed 50% tariffs on Brazilian goods, framing them as retaliation for Bolsonaro's prosecution. I don't care. What does the YouTube look like? So, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that Brazil's Supreme Court had unjustly ruled. How is it looking? Okay, so Brazilian's foreign ministry reacted swiftly, posting on X that threats like the one made today by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, in a statement that attacks the Brazilian authority and ignores the facts and the compelling evidence on record, will not intimidate our democracy. It's going to be different. That's not important. Um, so yeah, it's never ending. It is never ending with these despots and authoritarians. But I'm just so glad that Bolsonaro is finally being held to account. Uh, I don't know. I just amazing that it took so long, but I guess justice and all that. But anyway, I'm just glad for it. But what can you do? What can you do? We're just going to keep trucking along, and hey, if we want the same thing in this country, we damn well better get involved in the elections. We have to. If we do not get involved, say goodbye to democracy. Say goodbye to democracy. But yeah. Say hello to everybody in the chat. But let's keep going because YouTube, yes. I'm no longer a Proud Boy. Oh, dare we? I don't know. I don't know if I want to read anything about the Proud Boys right now, but well, also, oh, one other thing about Bolsonaro, he's now 70. He's looking at spending the rest of his life in prison. But see, that again, it all depends on how they do the justice system. Is it that he, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Does he serve the entire 27 years or does he get out for good behavior? I don't know how that works. In the US, if I see 27 years, my thought is, oh, he'll get out in half that. But will it matter? Let's say he only serves 10 years. He'll be 80. And then you got to add 8 years after that. He won't be able to run until he's 88. So I guess there's safety. Go ahead. Okay. So yeah, if he serves the entire sentence, yeah, he's cooked. The justices found that he had led a conspiracy and also convicted 7 other of his co-conspirators, including senior military officers. Among are the 2 former defense ministers, a former spy chief and former secretary minister. Yikes. While the plot failed to enlist enough support from the military to go ahead, it culminated in the storming of the government buildings by Bolsonaro supporters on the 8th of January, 2023, the justices found. Yeah, I watched some of the live footage of that. Holy shit. I was like, wow, they're doing the same thing they did here. Isn't that nice? Okay, I don't know. YouTube. We are slowly forgetting that Brazil almost returned to its 20-year dictatorship because a criminal organization comprised of a political group doesn't know how to lose elections. Amazing. Amazing. Am I live on Substack? Did you try refreshing? Close the app, reopen it. All right. So, yeah, it's just gross the way these people, I mean, I don't know. It's the same group of people here that's over there. And matter of fact, we had what's going on? Brazil's recent history and decades it spent under military rule was also invoked by Justice Carmen Lucia, who cast the decisive third uh, guilty vote on Thursday. It compared the attempted coup to a virus, which, if left to fester, can kill the society in which it has taken hold in. I agree. The sole dissenting voice on the 5 member panel was Luis Fux, FUX, who argued in an 11-hour speech on Wednesday, 11 hours, that the accusations against Jair Bolsonaro were unfounded and voted for him to be acquitted. But on Thursday, Carmen Lucia, the only woman on the panel, insisted that Brazil's democratic order had been at risk and warned that there was no immunity to authoritarianism. My goodness. Even our justice departments are not safe. Imagine that. Our justice departments are not safe from the effects and the infection of authoritarianism. 11 hours this guy just spoke and blathered on and on and on and on and on. Well, to me, until I see Bolsonaro being locked up, it hasn't happened yet, and it's not going to happen until I see it. Anyway, let's go to Raw story. I'm no longer a Proud Boy. A far-right activist quits group after a fight ensued. Well, that doesn't really bode well. It's not like he got an epiphany. It wasn't like he woke up and realized, oh shit, I'm on the wrong side of history. But let's be charitable. A prominent member of the right-wing Proud Boys group quit after a dispute arose over the January 6 rioters at an annual event. This sounds like an old story. I'm announcing my exit from the Proud Boys, Joe Biggs wrote on Sunday on X, after a long consideration and the way we were treated tonight by our so-called family and brothers at our yearly event. I'm out. So Joe Biggs, he was, I think he was one of the main founders. Joe Biggs, isn't that the eye patch guy? Not once were my fellow J6ers brought up or recognized. I thought I was part of a family, and the minute I asked the club to recognize my friends, a fight ensued. This is not a club who respects its men who stand up for it, and it instead mocks those of us who lost everything for something we believed in was bigger than ourselves. So from here on out, I'm no longer a Proud Boy. Okay, well, infighting. Okay, well, keep up the infighting, boys. Biggs was one of 14 people convicted of crimes at the Capitol on January 6th, who President Donald Trump chose not to pardon. Instead, Biggs received a commutation. You're not getting pardoned.